Hello everyone, this is Brandon. Thank you for joining me for this webinar today. It's just going to be me today because I'm going to go over something in the Facebook Ads Manager that's a little detailed, but it just tries to show you how to do or how we're doing your marketing and setting up your demographics. So I'm going to go through a couple different areas. And again, I want to stress this. This is really for knowledge and information purposes only. Our team is already going to be doing or have set up most of what I'm going to show you here today. But I want you to know how the system is working and what we're doing. And as a realtor, you might want to promote stuff yourself, or if you have something that you want to, a listing or some type of marketing that you want to do, I want you to feel comfortable getting around the Facebook Ads Manager and the marketing and how to set that up. So that's what this webinar and these systems are trying to convey to you, so that you know how everything works. Some of you are familiar with this, so this might just be a refresher course, and some of you have probably never done the Ads Manager previously, so this will be brand new to you. So the easiest way to get into the Ads Manager is to come to Facebook, any Facebook page, your home page, and just type in Ads Manager and hit return. It will come up, it'll be your very first one, and you can just hit visit. It'll take you right to your Ads Manager. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it is not. So we have quite a few accounts on here, so I'm just going to go into my main account. Okay, so we're in my main Ads Manager, and it's just going to give you a section to go through everything. We have different demographics set up for a lot of different realtors, so I'm just going to go through the basics of it. So when you come to the screen, you may have something that looks similar to this. The primary area that you want to focus on is going to be up here in this top left hand corner. This is going to be your menu for all of the options and the areas of your Ads Manager. So I'm going to go through a different couple of ones with you, but on this main page here, you can see your account overview tab here, campaigns. This will show you all of the campaigns that you've got running or had running. Anytime we run an ad for you or a marketing promotion for you, it will show up in this campaign section, so you can take a look at that. If you have an ad set where you have multiple ads running for different types of marketing, those will be shown up here. So let's say you have a buyer set, but you have buyers between the age of 25 and 30, or buyers between the age of 55 and 65, first-time home buyers, luxury home buyers. This would all show up in here. And then your last column is all of your ads that you have for potential marketing. The campaigns, let's just show you if you have a campaign that was previously run or is running, how to navigate and get around and what different features are for. The first screen you may come to may not be this one. It actually may be this one, which is an account overview. It'll bring you into this area just so you have a synopsis of ads that are running, the reach, the total amount spent, just some basic details. The next tab is the campaigns tab. This is probably where you'll be the most. This will have any ads that we're currently running for you, or previous ads that we've run for you. It'll show everything for your search criteria. The ad sets, if there's any ad sets, let's say we have a buyer's ad for you set up, and some of them might be for first-time home buyers, some of them might be for relocation buyers, some of them might be for second home buyers, whatever it may be. We could set up a buyer set and set up the demographics for all of those. This isn't used as often. And ads, the last time, is all the potential ads for your campaign. So on the campaigns, if you want to review or edit any of the ones that are currently running, I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to just take this Blue Crew. This is actually a landscape company that must have marketing going on for them, but it could be your ad that's sitting on here. Oh, and the other thing, sometimes these names that are on here don't mean anything specifically. If our team didn't change the name of it, the default of it is US 18 plus or something like that. That doesn't mean we're marketing to people 18 years and older. We probably have the custom demographics set up, but when you create the campaign, that's the default name for it. So, and again, I'll show you that when we go through setting up a new ad. But if you wanted to review this ad, you would click on the edit, and a little slide bar is going to come out, and I'll show you the different areas on this. This first thing is just coming up with the details. It's the objective. We're trying to reach as many people as possible. Buying type auction, which is normal. That's what you're bidding for placement, and you have a spending cap on here. So we look at the ad set. There's an ad set, which shows you the target, the budget, the schedule. So you click on that, it'll give you that information. The daily budget is $10. There's two different options for it. There's a daily budget, and then there's a lifetime budget. So if you want to spend $10 a day, that's what it will do up to an end date. A lifetime budget means that will be the amount of the ad, and once it hits that amount, it shuts down the ad. So there are two different types of ads. Normally we do a lifetime budget because we set up a start and an end time for the ads. This one is actually running ran until October 24th. So it ran, here's the start date, October 4th, and ran till the 24th. And again, you saw up here, it was a daily budget of $10 a day. So that's how long it ran for, 20 days at $10 a day. The audience details: the United States, Marietta, California, Temecula, California, 24 to 65 plus. This is going to have your details for whoever we have for your buyer or seller. And then the automatic placements, which is what we use. This recommends to get it out to all of the market areas. You can hit edit placements to see them all, but we do all devices, Instagram feed, audience network, messenger, so that they can get ads on when they're in their messengers as well. You probably have seen some of that marketing when you're browsing around Facebook, but we do all marketing platforms, and this is where we integrate your Instagram for your account as well. Okay, the potential reach on this one for those two cities with the market area we have set up was 210,000 people, which means at $10 a day, depending on the social media engagement and how many ads are running, you can reach between 940 to 4,900 people. I'll be honest with you, from our history with Facebook, it's more the first number or above that first number than it is this last number. I don't think I've ever seen it come close to hitting the possibility number on the high end. It's more in this range, a little bit more than that. Okay. The next section we have was the ad. This is where you can actually see the ad that's set up for the page. It tells you what the ad is for. The business page that it's set up for. This one actually is set up for the Blue Crew landscape business, and it has this ad on here is the right. That's what ad he's marking for his marketing. It's basic. We set up the images for you already. This pulls from the actual lead capture page itself, and the website URL. And you have all the information on here for the newsfeed link. This is all populated from the Facebook ad from our setup in Client Creator. So this is automatically already populated for your system. So it shows you the ad. I'm going to go over and just see if I can find one for here's one for the yard. I'm just going to show you. Click on the ad just so I can give you a real estate ad. Okay, this is one that we ran for a huge yard in Pinellas County, Florida. So there's a picture, the full information that comes up below it, the status or the message box. So all of that is already pre-set up from the client creator system for the ad. So when we create those posts, remember I showed you how to create the post in the Facebook ad on the previous seminar. It automatically populates that information for you. So that gives you the ad, and again we can go over the ad set, how much we promoted this for. This one we did a lifetime budget, so we had a total amount we wanted to spend. So we did a lifetime budget of $25. Here was the marketing details. They were in Clearwater, Florida, Palm Harbor. 24 to 64, we excluded anybody that's a real estate broker, realtor, mortgage, so it doesn't go to them. Same thing, automatic placements for all marketing areas, and post engagement. That's what the auction was for. Post engagement is an auction. You're bidding for the best spot and the most visibility for the news feed. Potential reach 1,100 to 3,900. Again, normally that's the first number is going to be closer to what you're actually going to do. And the post engagements, 30 to 160 people will engage with this ad for the lifetime of the ad that you have running. So that goes over the ad edit. Now again, this is just how to edit the ad that's in your campaign, or to view the details of what we may have running. Remember I told you about the US 18 plus? There it is there. It says that, but again, we just saw that the audience that we set up for is 24 to 65, mortgage, excluding real estate brokers. So again, this means nothing. It's just a default name Facebook puts on their engagements. And if our team doesn't, sometimes we don't change it when we're going through the ads. It's not a high importance for us, so that's why that might show up in your ads. Okay, so that'll just show you how to view any campaigns that are in your ads manager that our team may be running for you. The next area I'm going to go over for you is going to be your audiences. I want to show you, where your audiences are set up from our team, how to view them, how to create your own audience if there's somebody you want to set up for it. Okay, to get to the audiences, we're going to go up to this top left-hand corner here with the three horizontal lines and click on that button there. Now, you're going to have a couple of different options here. This is the frequently used options, which you will get into, but we want to go down to the all tools, and that'll show the rest of them. And if you notice under here, under assets, you got an audiences option on here. You click on that, it'll bring you right into the audiences for your marketing setup. This is where you'll see any audience that you may have created before, or that our concierge team has created before. If it is our concierge team, we put concierge on there. This serves two purposes. One, so you know we set it up. The second is, don't change it. We go in and modify these audiences all the time. So when we create an ad that, again, I'll use the first-time home buyer ad. And again, we don't run that for everybody, but I'm just using that as an example. We make some modifications to the demographics, to the market area, to the age, to the exclusions, to the inclusions, for what is working the best. So if you change that and we didn't document that we were changing that, or that we needed to change that from a previous ad run, it kind of messes with our settings. And it messes with the data that we're getting back. So the next time we go in, we might want to modify something in there, but something was removed already that we didn't know about. So it's going to skew the settings and skew the data that we're getting back. Many of you ask why we give 120 days free. Well, this is the main reason. Our team needs to find out what works and what works consistently in your market area. What might work for one city may not work for another city. It is crazy, but that is how it works. A picture, an exclusion, an exclusion, including income ranges, excluding, people who've moved recently, whatever it may be. Some things work, some things reach more people and get more engagements, and some don't. So we're constantly modifying things. We're not just setting up an ad, running it, and hoping for the best. There's a method to what we're doing. We're trying to make the most engagement that we possibly can from every one of our ads. So, as you can see, that takes time. We get the data back from an ad that we've run, and we're going to change things. We're going to see what demographic clicked on it, what age range, what gender. All of that plays a factor in how we set up our ads for the next time to increase engagement. And if we've gotten good engagement from an ad, we won't change it. We'll keep it for the next time we run it, and use that as a base. So if you do see an ad or an audience in your system says concierge, please don't change it. You can create new audiences, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Absolutely, if you have an ad that you want to run, or if you just want to play around with it, you can go ahead and do that. And but just don't change any of the ones that say concierge unless we ask you to, or unless you let us know what you're doing. So we have an idea. But if you want to create a new audience, we'll just create an audience here. So we're going to create a saved audience. A saved audience means it's one you want to keep in your system to use at another time. So we'll create that audience. I'm just going to do a webinar test so that I know what it is. These options, lookalike audiences, custom audiences, they're just pulling off of old audiences that you have so that you don't have to set up from scratch. But we're actually going to set it up from scratch. So I'm just going to take people in my market area. West Deptford, New Jersey. 08096. I need an address. I'll do this one. 326. There we go. I'll just use my city address. Okay. So we're going to do a radius here. So we're going to start out with 1.2 million people within a 10-mile radius. So that's a little large. So we're going to try to narrow that down. We want to get probably between 100 to 200,000 people would be ideal. So what we're going to try to do is try to get some modifications or some criteria to cut that down. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the radius, the 10 miles outside the market area, which is fine. So we're going to keep that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to change the age range. We're going to change that to 24. We found that there's really not many people above 24 that are going to be buying a home or selling a home. And then we're going to go in and exclude some people. We're going to browse by the demographics. So we're going to go into realtor, and we'll exclude the realtor job title. We'll go into mortgage broker. You want to make sure that it's a job title, not an interest. We want to make sure that we remove anybody that's in that area. Let's see what we're down to. Actually, it didn't update yet. And then we're going to go into the, let's see if there was anything else for real estate. Real estate. Oops. Real estate broker. Real estate. Again, we're searching for job title here. Real estate manager, and then there's another real estate. Just scroll down, real estate associate. So that's fine. Or about 1 million people. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to go into the demographics to include for only specific people. There's multiple areas on where to do for this, so I'm going to show you how to create that. Now, the detailed targeting demographics has changed over the last 3 to 4 months. There used to be quite a few demographics in here that we used to use, but they've been removed for one reason or another with Facebook. So this area is constantly changing. So what I might put on here now may not be available in the next couple of months. So we'll have to find new demographics. So most of the ones that we use, for instance, there was a likely to move category in here that's no longer available, and that was a nice one because it was anybody that was searching for homes would usually would be put into that category for likely to move if they were searching home prices, or if they were on real estate sites searching for homes, they would have fell into that category. So there's one similar to this, but it's not as detailed as the likely to move. So I'm going to go through a couple of the ones that are the ones that we use primarily to set up demographics. So remember, down here we excluded all the realtors. Now I will say this: if we were doing an open house or if we were doing a property for sale, we would not exclude realtors because, if they have buyers who are interested in the home, obviously that's a good thing. So we only exclude realtors for particular ads that we don't want to waste time for them clicking on your ads and running up your money for the ad, just because they're competition, basically. So one of the demographics we'll go into, we can go into browse here, and we'll go into the demographics section. And the one area we go into is going to be interests. And we scroll down to, which one? Business and industry is under. And you scroll down, you'll find one for real estate. So if you hover over that one that says real estate to the right here, you'll see business and industries and real estate. And people have expressed an interest or like pages related to real estate. So if they've been searching for homes on Trulia or Realtor.com, or have tried to get their home value or anything related to real estate, they would fall into this category. It is a little broad of a category, but that's okay. It's more in line with people that we're going to want to target. So that's all right. This is one we would definitely use. Another one we would try to use would be demographic for income. So another quick way to do it, you can just type in here income, and it'll come up with all the demographics on here. So if we were targeting, let's say, a high-end home, and we wanted to, eliminate everybody that probably could not afford the home, we would be using a household income in the top 5 or 10% of the zip codes in the market area that we have set above. So this would be more in lines of what if we were selling a home that the average person in this market area could not afford. We wanted to only go after those people who can afford it. We would use these. For majority of the ads that we do, we use the very first one, 25 to 50%. We don't want the low-income people. Most of the time we want to make sure that we'll get them qualified. So we'll use the household income between 25 to 50% of the zip codes that you have up in the demographic above. So there's different areas for those, but you can browse these. There's so many different areas. You got your demographics. You got life events on here. New job, if they've gotten a new job recently in the area, and we're targeting them. Maybe they're renting right now, and they want to buy a new home. Newly engaged, which means they're going to be looking for a home. That's somebody we want to use as a target for possibly first-time home buyers. Those types of demographics are things that we want to target. You can set up demographics for any of these. But there's so many different things on here. There's so many different areas to market to. You can set that up and create an audience. We saw that newly engaged, depending on when they were engaged or newly moved, that would have been something we would set up for a first-time home buyer ad. And I was talking previously about changing it. We may have set the ad up and did it with that engagement or with that target market, and it didn't get the responses, so we might remove it or adjust it. So that's what I'm talking about. Some things we try and see if they work. Some things we try and see, if making a change works. So, it's a process of elimination for, a few of these setting up the ad. So right now we're at an audience of around 320,000 people after we made some of the demographical changes, which is about right. So the 320,000 is not bad for this market area because it includes a pretty prominent city, Philadelphia. So if you wanted to, the connection type down the bottom here. If you have people who like your page and only, or friends of people who like your page, you can include those on here for a specific target. We don't normally go after anybody who's liked your page, and the reason is because they're already going to see your post. If they've liked your business page, they're going to see your Facebook post, and we don't need to pay for their engagement. So we don't usually include that. If you're doing a promotion for something and you wanted to send out something specifically to them, you can do that. But we don't typically do that. So you would just create your audience here, and it would save it right into your saved audience. So there's your your audience. You can hover over it, and it'll show you the demographics you have set up. The next section would be to create an ad using that. And you can create an ad in any of these pages, basically. In the Facebook Ads Manager, you'll see a big green button in the right-hand corner of most pages. That'll be create an ad. So we'll go ahead and create an ad. And I'll just show you how to use that audience, basically, that you just set up to do marketing. But I'll show you some other things in the Facebook ad that will go over. There's quite a few objectives on here. It can be overwhelming. I'm going to keep it real simple. There's two types of ads that you can use: reach or engagement. They're the only ones you're really going to want to use. Lead generation can work. It's a newer style ad. We are still testing it to see if it's something that we want to do, but this doesn't allow you to use your client creator system. We want you to use Facebook system, which I cannot stand. It's very, very limited. As of right now, they may change that. So we want reach or engagement. Typically, we want engagement. We don't want to just reach the people. We don't want to just have it display in front of them. We wanted them to engage it. So we're going to create an ad that's going to get them to engage. Now you have engagement down here, post engagement, which is the default. Page likes, no, we don't really want to get page likes. You can do page likes ads if you want to get more business page likes. This will not generate buyer or seller clients for you. You'll not be able to communicate with the people who like your page. It's just for basically social status more than anything, to increase your social media relevance for pages. Event responses, we would use event responses if we were marketing an open house or something that we wanted people to attend. So those are the three types of engagements. So post engagement, campaign name, we're just going to do webinar test. And we will continue. Now, remember I talked about that US 18 plus? Well, here it is right up here. And if you skip it, if you don't put it up there or change it up there, this is where it'll appear. So doesn't mean anything. Like I said, it's just a name. So we're just going to put webinar test again for the ad set. Now, here's your audience. Again, you can create a whole new one, basically what we did before. But I always like to create an audience prior to running an ad so I don't have to spend time in here. So we're just going to use a saved audience. And if you click on it, we're going to go and choose the webinar test. Now you only have a couple in here, so you'll be able to choose it pretty easily, but the most recent one will show up at the top. So we use saved audience and it comes up with everything that we have set up for. Our potential reach is 320,000 people. The placements is automatic again. You can edit them if for any reason you don't want to have it appear on Instagram, or if you don't want it to appear in the messenger box, you can do that. If you don't want it to appear on suggested videos, whatever it may be, you can edit that. But again, by default, you probably want to create as much marketing as possible. The daily budget. This is where some people can get into some financial trouble. So this will be the most important part of the ad that you are setting up. There is a difference between setting up a daily budget and a lifetime budget. Daily budget will spend that amount of money until you press stop. And I have seen people run up ads for $2,000 within a month because they did not realize the difference between a daily budget and a lifetime budget. So please, if you use a daily budget, know that you need to set up a end time. You can see here Facebook's default, which is horrible. It's a month. It is a month time. So whatever you put in here, you want to change that end time, because if not, it will run for 30 days and you will spend more money than you probably want. So that is why we normally will use a lifetime budget. So no matter what, we're only going to spend $100. Okay, so it can run for 30 days, which would be longer than we want, but you're only going to spend $100. So lifetime budget is the best financially, because no matter what, if you screwed something up or you forgot to do something, if you just get in the habit of choosing lifetime budget, you won't get a bill scare at the end of the month from Facebook. So lifetime budget, $100. I'm going to go over a little bit of the calculations of how $100 would work. On a typical ad to run for 24 hours, it's about $10 to $12 per day. So if we had an ad in a market area in this size, 320,000, it would probably be between $10 to $12 per day to run for a full 24-hour period. You do want to have an ad run for 24 hours. You don't want to have it cut out. You want to cover the social media mornings, afternoons, early evenings, and after dinner time. So there are 4 areas in a day that different social media high points are, and those are first thing in the morning when people wake up and browse on social media, lunchtime, right before they get out of work, or right when they do get out of work, and then after dinner when the kids are in bed and they're browsing social media or sitting there watching TV. So those are the high social media. So if the ad's not running for a full 24 hours, it's not going to reach potential people. And it could be a lot. So we do recommend a $10 to $12 per day budget. So with that in mind, with this type of ad, it would be $100. So if we wanted to run for 5 days, if we have a calculator, pretty easy to do. If we do $10 a day times 5 days, that would be $50. So with a $100 day, we would do 10 times 10 days. So this ad could run for 10 days consistently and appear 24 hours a day. So that's what we would do. That's basically how we calculate our marketing. Again, when we get our reports back, and if we see an ad has run and stopped during a day, we'll say, okay, we need to increase that daily amount, so we need to bump it up a little bit. So it may not be $10 a day, it might be closer to $12 a day. So this same ad would run for $12 a day, or 100 divided by 12 would run for 8.5 days instead, because it needs a full $12 to run for ad. So we're going to change that to from October 30th. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. And that will run to, actually it's run in the past because we just changed it. We did the time changes. So that will do the start and the end time. So the ad scheduling will run all the time. This is what we were talking about when we wanted to run for 24 hours period. We do want it to run all the time to cover all of those. If for any reason you wanted to run on an ad schedule, you could choose this. It'll let you choose the Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or whatever you wanted to do. If you didn't want to run it on the weekends, you can exclude those as well. But by default, we usually just run it all the time and allow it to adjust accordingly. This happens every time. If you wait too long, it'll have you reset it so that the time isn't current or a few minutes before. So if you spend too much time on this page, it's going to show you that you need to reset your time before you can continue, which happens. Audience size, we went over this in the setup. The estimated reach, 1,400 to 4,700. Again, you're going to be closer to this. And the post engagement's going to be 36 to 210 people. That can vary. So there's some good times where you'll get the 210 post engagement, but there's other times where you'll get the 36. The longer the ad runs, again, this one's running for 10 days, so it's running for a good portion. The better off you're going to be. So you'll hit continue, and this is where you're going to select the post. We're just going to select a default one on here. You just basically, your page will show up here automatically. If you have more than one page, you'll have more than one option here. But by default, everybody only has one page. So this is the one that's going to come up. Instagram is going to be the one that's associated with your Facebook account. So that usually will stay by default. If for any reason you want to associate with a different Instagram account, you can add that account right here. But by default, it's going to be the one that's integrated with your Facebook account. Your page posts will be here. You can pick any of these posts that are on your page. Again, you're only going to see the ones that are posted on your page. But we're going to just choose one for. I see one for home values, so we'll use that. So your feed will be in here. You can see the display. You can go through the ads. You can see that this one's a mobile news feed, but there's 10 different types of ads. Desktop, instant articles, Instagram video. We don't have a video on this one, so we don't have that. Instagram feed. This one doesn't show all of the time. It depends on what the image is. It needs to go through an approval process. So Instagram feed won't show all the time, but don't let that worry you. The basic ones you want to make sure that are working are the mobile news feed and the desktop and the instant articles. Those are the primary ones for your ad setup. Everything else down here is going to stay left by default. If you have a parameter, this is if you're running different ads and you want to collect data for who's clicking on which ad. They may be leading to the same lead capture page, but you want to pull different values into them to see which ad is working better than the other one. Facebook Pixels, if you have a Facebook Pixel account set up with your Facebook page, you can include that here. That's a tracking meter. So if you do have that one, you can put that here. Again, our tracking system is through Client Creator, so we don't have the need to do a Facebook pixel tracking. But if you want to do it through your Facebook analytics account, you can do that by just inserting the code here that happened when you created it. And that's pretty much it. After you want to make sure everything's all here, you want to double check everything, you'll come here. I'm not sure why it's not letting me bring it down, but it's not. Oh, I'm sorry, because the media's got to be higher than 500. That's okay. I'm just going to choose another one. Let's see if I can do this one. Okay, so it's fine. Let me do it. No, sorry about that. So if we hit review here, you'll have all of the information for your marketing. You just want to make sure that it's right. Again, pay particular attention to the lifetime budget, or if you have a daily budget, pay particular attention to the start and end date so you know how much you're going to use. Your targeting is going to be your audience that we have that we set up in there. Post engagement for the optimization. Lowest cost, obviously you want to have the lowest cost so you're not spending a fortune for placement. And then when you're ready to confirm it, you're just going to hit confirm. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to place this ad. But once you confirm it, it will go into your ad set and be ready for promotion. So I'm just going to close that here. And I'm going to get out of this altogether and go right back to our ads manager. If I click on this top left hand here and go right to my ads manager, excuse me, it'll let me go right back to my primary ads manager. And again, once that ad was approved or submitted, it will show up here. It'll probably say pending for a good 5 to 10 minutes, but then it should get auto approved once there's no issues. You may also receive messages from Facebook that an ad has been denied or has not been approved. If you see that, don't worry, we probably already have responded to it. Some of the images that we use, if Facebook doesn't recognize them, we have to send approval to them, showing them that we own the copyrights to the images that we're using. So once they see that we own the copyrights to the image, they approve it. So if you do get an email saying that it has not been approved, then it's an ad that we created for you. We've already taken care of it. You can ignore that message. If you want confirmation, you can send it to our support team and they'll check on it to make sure that it was approved and that you're good to go. One other area that I know that we probably have gone over before, and that is the billing section. You want to make sure that there's a couple things in here that you want to check. The first one is going to be on your payment settings. You want to make sure that you have a payment method set up on your account that is in here. You want to make sure that you have a way to pay. If you do not have one, none of our ads are going to get approved because they're not going to see that you're going to have a way to pay. So you want to make sure that there's a payment method on there. You want to make sure that there is no spending limit. See where it says set account spending limit? You do not want to have that. Again, I know I've discussed that in previous webinars, but that is not a renewable feature. That shuts your account down so no more ads can be placed. So if you put a budget on there, or a spending limit, let's say you say $100 because you think $100 is per month what you want to spend, well, we would only be able to run ads for up to that $100, and after that anything else isn't going to run. And we don't get a notification of that because that's on your account. We don't have access to that. So you would need to make sure you check that. The last thing you want to make sure, and I've gone over this too, is make sure that Brandon Christie is in your ads account roles. This is so we can set up the demographics for you, set up the ads managers, set up the ads, and get all of this done for you. If we're not on your ads roles, we might be creating ads, but we're not able to promote them. So that's one thing that you're going to want to double check and just make sure. If you click on ad accounts, you should see your name, and then you should see another person on here. If you don't see my name on here, just click on add people and type in the name Brandon Christie, and it should appear for you to select it and hit confirm. That adds us to your ads manager so that we can again set up your audiences, set up your marketing, set up the reports, and then create the actual ads, with the demographical marketing. Okay. I know that's a lot of information to digest, so I'm going to end the webinar here, and just so you have an idea. But again, I want to stress that this is just for you to become familiar with the Ads Manager in Facebook. You do not need to do anything with this. We're taking care of it for you as part of this program. But again, this is just so you understand what we're doing, how we're doing it, how you can check on the ads that we've run, see the audiences, the demographics. The one thing that you do need to do is to make sure the payment settings and that we're on the ads account. But other than that, we're handling pretty much everything for you. So, I hope this has been informative. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let us know. We'll definitely be available to help you out in any way that we can. All right. Thank you very much for joining us today, and have a great day.